Hey folks, it's time for the quote of the day. And this morning I reposted a video that I did last year for the same date, obviously. And I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. It's going to be a different quote, but I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I think that it's this date, June 12th, is just it's immutable. I really can't change what it means to me. Today is the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of the Pulse shooting that happened here in Orlando. Now, as I said in the last video, the one from last year, this was something that I lived through. It was traumatic for pretty much everybody that I know in this area. Everybody that I know knows somebody, or that person knows somebody that was affected by it, that has family members that were killed, whatever it may be. It has left its mark forever in the community here. And last year, I quoted Anne Frank because, in my mind, today being Anne Frank's birthday, I, if I had the power to do such, I would make Anne Frank. I would make today, June 12th, Anne Frank Memorial Day worldwide. What this 14-year-old girl wrote was so amazing and heartbreaking and important that I genuinely believe that it should be discussed and taught everywhere. I think that we've forgotten a lot of it. I think that especially in America, we have forgotten what she said. We have forgotten the lessons that she tried to share. We've forgotten the perspective that she allowed us to have of what it was like, right? Like what it was like. Now, I don't this is like emotional. I don't want to share just the same quote or anything like that. Like I said, I found something else that I think is very important for today, but it's hard. It's hard because as we slip further and further in a direction that I feel like there's no coming back from, it's hard for me to hear her words and to feel the weight of those words, knowing, how it ended for her, knowing that there are people out there right now that are suffering under essentially a, you know, pseudo fascistic regime. Um, I'm filled with shame. I'm filled with shame for where we are as a country, as a people. I'm filled with shame for the fact that humanity didn't learn the lesson and refuses to learn the lesson, seemingly. So I'm going to get right to the quote now, and I want to talk about it, and I want to share this moment that I'm having with all of you because, like I said, today's a heavy day. There's been a week earlier. There was a storm, lasted about 3 hours. It was, on par with like a light hurricane type storm. Um, it left everything messy, and somehow it's fitting. It's fitting for today. So, from the Diary of Anne Frank, she once wrote, "Human greatness does not lie in wealth and power, but in character and goodness. People are just people, and all people have faults and shortcomings, but all of us are born with a basic goodness." It's hard to read that. If you ever have the opportunity to look it up, you can see pictures from the Anne Frank house. The actual house that she was in, the attic that she was hiding in when she was writing a lot of this. Um, and there's a plaque in the entryway of that house. Like when you first walk in, it's a plaque that says a quote from her, and the quote is, "Despite everything, I believe that people are really good at heart." And there's a picture of it on the website. At least there was. I haven't looked in a while, but there was a picture of it on the website. Actually, Whoopi Goldberg talked about it in one of her stand-up specials. And I think about that all the time. I think about like what she was going through, like the evil that she was privy to. Like she saw it with her eyes, she heard it with her ears. It was her world as much as it could be, with her being locked in an attic essentially. And she still, I mean, maybe that's the beauty of having a childlike mind, but I don't think it is. I think that she was just that kind of person. I think that she was just the kind of person that could find this beauty and this good. And I'll be honest, it's something that I strive to do here. It's something that I try to do when I make videos like this, when I talk about it. I try to remind people that there is good. Like, there are bad people in this world, without a doubt. There are horrible fucking people that do horrible fucking things, and we get to see it, right? Like, we know what that is. We know the definition of that. But oftentimes we get so caught up in the bad, we start looking for the bad, and we don't look at the good. Anne Frank didn't do that. She looked for the good. And despite everything, I believe that people are really good at heart. She did this having to be hidden away from people, right? She wrote that. She said that. And, human greatness does not lie in wealth or power, but in character and goodness. How the audacity, right? The unmitigated gall to be able to write something like that when you're suffering through what she was suffering through is nothing short of absolutely inspirational and important. And like I said, I really genuinely believe that we have forgotten these messages, these lessons that we should all learn from this young girl. We get so caught up in our grown up world. We get so caught up with our ways of, seeing things as black and white, and seeing things as right and wrong and good and evil, and the polarity of everything. It's one thing or another. There can never be shades of gray. What she's saying here is that we all are good. We are all born with that in us. We all have the capability to do great things. But many of us, most of us, whether it be through choice or through circumstance, which inevitably is part of choice, we we don't. We don't. And I just sit here and I get emotional thinking about what happened 10 years ago, and then thinking about what she went through, and the ability to find beauty in all of it, the ability to find something more beyond that pain, that horror, is something that we should all strive for. And that's really the message that I wanted to relay today. That's the message that I know she was trying to relay, had she known that anybody was going to read her words. She didn't know what was going to happen to her. She was writing from her heart. She was just saying what she felt in the time. And in the time of the worst, the absolute most horrifying circumstances you can possibly imagine, all around her, she wrote, "Human greatness does not lie in wealth or power, but in character and goodness." People are just people, and all people have faults and shortcomings, but all of us are born with basic goodness. It's hard to remember that. It's hard to hear that, but she's right, and we need to. We need to remember it. We need to believe it, and we need to act accordingly. It is the 10th anniversary of Pulse, which was a horrifying day. And it is the birthday of one of the most influential and important 14-year-olds in the history of our world. They will always be tied together for me. So take a moment and sit with it, if you will. Happy birthday to Anne Frank. The rest of you, please take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'll talk to you soon.